Hi everybody, Padmini Janaki here and welcome back to Love Tech. Today we are going to talk about top 5 professions that you have to watch out in 2021 and 2022. Now you might wonder that you are in a job, you're earning pretty well and things are going well, and why am I supposed to move out of this job or this role and take up something new? Here is where you're probably going wrong. Now there are some roles like UI designer or UX developer or multiple other streams where there are quite a lot of competitions and there are quite a lot of openings as well. But when you pick a role which is just booming and just coming up, and you can incur that skills and talent, and when you are in the market, the chances of you getting that role and actually getting paid more is much higher. And since these roles are just booming, in 2 to 3 years when the role becomes really big and much more companies have started adopting to this role, you will be in some leadership role or much more experience. So the chances of you progressing in your career is 10x higher than you just continuing with your particular role. Okay, with that said, let's move on to the video. The first role that I'm going to talk to you about is UX writer. I'm sure you would have heard of UX designer, UX researcher, UX analyst, but UX writer is comparatively much newer, and this is taking so much traction because a small microcopy on an error page or on a landing page can actually solve a lot of issues, loss saving, making more revenue, and much lesser call to the call center. So companies, enterprises actually adopting to this role just started coming in now. So if you prepare now, then the chances of you becoming an expert in this particular role is going to be much more easier. To learn this particular skill, you might need some skills like writing, a little bit of creative writing, and a little bit of UX and customer behavior and all that. But to go for a particular proper course, there are not much, and there is one Udemy course that I figured out, for which I will give you a link on the description box. But I totally suggest you to follow and observe a lot of applications and platforms that you use on an everyday basis, and how easy it is for you to access and navigate between the tools. And if not, I'm also going to add one Quora answer beneath, where it has some very expensive UX writing courses. I wouldn't suggest you to go with that in the first move, but if you are really serious about it, maybe you should have a look at it. The second role is HR data expert. I think this whole combination looks very difficult, isn't it? Because when you are a HR, you obviously studied more on the arts part of it and then picked something on the commerce and to do with people and so much. When it comes to data, it's more science and hard skills part of it. Now you might be wondering, I don't know coding, how will I go into HR data expert and thrive something there? Here's the trick, because you don't have to really code or do something phenomenal in the way of analytical thinking when you have to become a HR data scientist or a HR data expert. All that you have to understand is what data is required to take a logical and a rational decision when there is a decision that needs to be made in hiring people or firing people or keeping people happy in the company. So these skills are booming when with remote and people from everywhere. This kind of role will really boom in 2 to 3 years. And to study this, there are quite a lot of courses. Again, I'll add the link on the description. But if you are a HR and if you want to move to this line, I think a basic AI ML data kind of a course will help you to logically think and marry these two concepts together and take it from there. The third role that I'm going to talk to you about is a community manager. Now, companies are adopting to the communities and they believe the business can happen through communities in a massive scale. When I talk about community manager, what kind of a role is that? What will be your roles and responsibilities inside the company? It's different for different companies. To start this, I don't think you need a proper education or a diploma course, but it's more of a mindset where if you like people and if you like to form communities and give value to them, let's say Monster.com, it's not that they will create a community and talk about Monster and their products. It's about more of giving value to the community. on how to find a job, how to upskill yourself, how to get your resume ready. And after all this is done, the product or the company DNA will be inside the community, and that's how they make business. And the companies have figured out that this is a very, very lucrative market to acquire more and more people inside. To study this, I wouldn't really suggest you to go for any courses. Instead, I would suggest you to start a community. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about any studies or the work you do or the profession that you are in. It could be as simple as kitchen gardening or fashion. That's something that is passionate to you, that is something that you like to do, and create a community in your local space or online as a Facebook community. See how the interactions are, how people are getting engaged, and why people are not being engaged, and why someone is being positive, why someone is being negative. This kind of people skill is something that you can acquire from day one, all by doing yourself. And even when you go for such roles and interviews, if you show that you've created a community of 10,000 people, the chances of you landing in a job is much more higher than actually you showing a diploma certificate. The fourth role that I'm going to talk to you about is diversity and inclusion expert. I know it has been there around some time. It's not particularly a new role, but I have to talk about this now because in general, in companies, even big companies, they will hardly have 4 or 5 people, working on diversity and inclusion. But now, the chances of these people, these skills getting higher is much more higher because the companies are moving to remote, and we have people working in the companies across the world and from different location, from different culture. And now I think the diversity and inclusion is being a buzzword, and the companies are trying to hire more and more people inside diversity and inclusion. And if you are someone who believe in it and the whole concept of it, I think you should give a shot. For this, you don't have any formal courses that's like taken very seriously from any reputed companies or organizations. But I think this particular skill can be acquired by reading more books about different leaders who believe in diversity and inclusion. A lot of people think, having 50% men and 50% women is equality, but it is not. It has a lot of deeper meaning. If you understand the whole template of it, for you to land in a diversity and inclusion expert, chances are much, much higher. The fifth role that I'm going to talk to you about is cyber security expert. In fact, we wouldn't have heard so many people actually being in there because it goes back to the concept of how we grew up. Probably we all saw computer after an age, but now also because of the remote working, also because of work is done everywhere with gig economy and freelancers, and everybody is working for the company, even for big companies. Now, is this secured and protected has become a top questions and top priority for many companies because fraud, illegal transactions, and so many things are happening. But the education and a good awareness about this, because this role has different flavors to it, being technical, being more on the legal side, being more on understanding and an advisory side. You will always learn about it a little bit. I did find some interesting diploma courses about this role, and I suggest you actually to take up some courses to it because this is a serious topic which you can't just Google, understand, and then go about. So having a proper diploma on this course can actually help you understand if this will even fit in your passion or fit in your culture or fit into your career goals. So I suggest you to research a little bit about this and how the companies are doing. Even if you're using a mobile application and the payment goes through and a gaming app is downloaded, how the whole transaction is happening. I would suggest you to observe all this, read a little bit about it, and then go for a proper diploma or course by any reputed organization where you're sure that they will teach you what exactly is cyber security, and then you can try to become an expert. And if you did, I'm very sure you'll become a hotcake in 1 to 2 years. With that said, I spoke about all the 5 professions that I think, and with the trend that has a very good potential to boom in 2021 and 2022. And let me know in comments that if you've liked any of the profession, and if you are in any of these professions, and if you know how exactly to study that and then move forward in the career. And if you like this video, definitely give a big thumbs up, and then if you've not subscribed to the channel, yet, please subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all very soon in a new video. Bye.